Today, we will discuss one of the most impressive and controversial cases in the criminal history of the United States. Imagine a young boy of only 13 years old sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Such a situation may seem unbelievable, but it constitutes the reality of Lionel Alexander Tate, the youngest American citizen to receive such a grave sentence. Lionel Tate was born on a naval base in the state of Illinois. His parents separated before he turned 1 year old. Due to career changes, Lionel's mother, Kathleen, opted to leave him in the care of relatives. Educators who had contact with Lionel described him as an intelligent and playful child, although he showed an evident need for attention. In 1996, Kathleen decided it would be appropriate to send Lionel to live with relatives in Mississippi. Upon returning, Kathleen noticed that Lionel began to show changes in his behavior. He became intimidating, gained weight, and stood out from other students. His mother did not implement punishments for his actions, often attending school dressed in her police uniform, a behavior that seemed to have an intimidating effect on teachers and principals. Kathleen reconnected with a friend, Deweese Unick-Paul, and her daughter, Tiffany. Lionel and Tiffany appeared to establish a good relationship, resulting in several occasions of playing together. On July 28, 1999, while Kathleen was taking care of Tiffany, she left the two children unsupervised. After a period of playing downstairs, Kathleen, upon hearing strange noises, asked him to go see what was happening. 45 minutes later, Lionel informed his mother that Tiffany was not breathing, prompting Kathleen to contact emergency services. Initially, investigators suspected that the death of Tiffany, a child of only 6 years, might have occurred accidentally. However, upon examining the body, they found 35 injuries, including brain hemorrhages, a lacerated liver, a fractured skull, and broken ribs, leading experts to conclude that these injuries were inflicted intentionally. Subsequently, the police located Lionel at a relative's residence and proceeded to interrogate the minor, as Florida law allows the interrogation of a minor without a guardian's consent. Although only 12 years old, Lionel had a height of 1 meter and 63 centimeters, 5 feet and 4 inches, above the average for his age, which is approximately 1 meter and 50 centimeters, 4 feet and 11 inches, and weighed 77 kilograms, 170 pounds. The detectives were convinced that Lionel had assaulted Tiffany and hidden her to avoid reprisals. Later, judicial authorities announced the decision to prosecute Lionel Tate as an adult for the murder of Tiffany Unick. In his defense, Lionel and his legal team claimed what is now known as the wrestling defense. Lionel stated that both were imitating typical wrestling moves and play fighting. However, due to his disproportionate size compared to other boys his age, he was not fully aware of his own strength, resulting in his lack of perception that his actions could lead to Tiffany's death, which occurred accidentally. The prosecutors, however, argued otherwise, stating that the injuries sustained by Tiffany were so severe that they could not be considered accidental. Ken Padowitz declared that Lionel had punched her, stomped on her, as well as hit and kicked her over a period of 5 minutes. If convicted of first-degree murder, Lionel would face a life sentence without the possibility of parole, due to Florida's felony murder rule. This would mean that even if Lionel did not intend to cause her death, he was aware that his actions would result in harm to the victim, culminating in her death. Deweese, however, did not want Lionel's life to take such a turn. Consequently, the prosecutors offered Lionel a plea deal for second-degree murder, with a sentence of 3 years in juvenile detention. However, Kathleen, Tiffany's mother, rejected the offer. In January 2001, Lionel was convicted of first-degree murder for the brutal death of Tiffany Unick, a girl of only 6 years. What makes this case even more disturbing is that Lionel claimed he was imitating professional wrestling moves when he caused Tiffany's death. However, the details of the case and the pressure of public opinion led the judge to impose one of the most severe sentences in the judicial system: life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Lionel Tate became the youngest person ever to receive such a penalty in the United States, sparking an intense national debate about the justice of punishing a minor so severely. Lionel's conviction caused great controversy, being criticized both nationally and internationally. Many questioned whether a 14-year-old boy, who clearly did not understand the gravity of his actions, deserved to spend his entire life in prison. Others argued that, given the severity of the crime, justice should prevail regardless of the defendant's age. Activist organizations and human rights experts spoke out in defense of reviewing the case and the need for a different approach to juveniles within the judicial system. In 2004, after years of pressure, The court agreed to review the case and decided to commute Lionel's sentence, reducing it to 10 years of probation under strict supervision. Lionel was finally released and was able to return to his life, although with many restrictions. It seemed he had found a second chance, but the story does not end there. Unfortunately, in the following years, Lionel Tate was arrested on several occasions for minor crimes, demonstrating that his reintegration was not an easy process. His story remains one of the most complex and painful in terms of juvenile justice. The question remains, was it fair to sentence a child who did not understand his actions, or did the system fail to provide an opportunity for rehabilitation? Later, DeWeese, Tiffany's mother, stated, "I strongly believe in God and forgiveness. My faith in God is so deep that I managed to forgive him, Lionel. I forgave him for brutally murdering my daughter." DeWeese also expressed criticism of Kathleen, mentioning her disappointment and accusing her of trying to cover up evidence. She emphasized the need for Lionel to acknowledge that the death of her daughter was not an accident. Kathleen can hide behind her badge, lawyers, ministers, and the nation, but the truth cannot be hidden. This was not a child's play. This was not a fight. This was a brutal murder. In 2005, Lionel was charged with armed robbery and probation violation after threatening a pizza delivery man with a firearm near a friend's apartment. The delivery man dropped the 4 pizzas, and Lionel returned to the apartment, assaulting the owner who opposed his presence. In 2008, Lionel was sentenced to 10 years for armed robbery and 30 years for probation violation. Both sentences will be served concurrently, and Lionel is expected to be released in 2031. Thank you so much for watching this story. Your presence and support are essential for me to continue creating quality content. So, if you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes. Your subscription and comments are fundamental for me to keep bringing quality content. Leave your opinion in the comments, always with respect for the victims, and together let's build an even better community. Thank you so much for following my work, and I'll see you in the next episode.